Hey all, Hipper here. So today we're building the famous boat from the movie Jaws, and it's of course Quint's boat, the ORCA. And building that out of Lego is actually very easy, and some of you have asked me to show the build in different ways. So in this video I'm going to show it in two different ways. So the first one here is pretty much just brick for brick, and after that we'll do the instructions included in the game, so you can use whichever approach you think is better. Now personally I prefer this brick by brick approach here. I think it's just a little bit easier, although I don't show actually going into the menus and picking the bricks, because really I'm just taking the model apart and then reversing the video here on YouTube. It's a lot easier, but it still shows you exactly what I'm doing brick by brick, and you should be able to just replicate what I'm doing here fairly easily. And if you don't like this way, then just skip to like another 2 minutes or something, and I'll build it using the instructions included in the game. So if you haven't watched Jaws, I recommend you watch it if you're old enough, that is. But this boat here is, like I said, from the movie. It's the ORCA boat, and it's run by its owner Quint, who's one of the main characters in the movie. And I always kind of liked this boat here, and I thought, why not give it a go in Lego now that I actually have the opportunity, because it's fairly simple and the proportions are actually suitable for this game here. Because you can see the building area here, it's a lot longer than it is wider. So that means that if you want to build something wide or really tall, it's fairly difficult. So you can't, for example, build a battleship, because it's way too long. And if you try to build it, like, you're gonna end up with it's gonna be pretty ugly, because you can't get enough details. So you have to find something that's not too long and not too wide, and ORCA just happens to be the perfect proportions, really. So of course it takes a bit of trial and error to get these builds here correct, and the builds I show you here on the channel are the ones that actually work out, because usually I do 3 or 4 test builds first to get the proportions down and get used to what I'm supposed to build and what bricks to use. And no one really wants to watch that, right? You just want to know how to build these things here. So that's why I'm showing the builds that actually work out. I think I say this every video, but I'm just so happy how easy it is to actually build models in Lego 2K Drive, because compared to real life, it's just so easy. Like, you got all the blocks in the world. You don't have to actually use the ones you have or may not have lying around, and it's really easy, and the colors, change them extremely fast and quick, and you don't have to, like I said, have every possible brick in every possible color around you. And also the little tiny adjustments here, like changing the angle of pretty much everything. You can do it for pretty much every brick that's only attached at one point, that is. It just shows that they put a lot of thought into this. So okay, that's the first way of building, so let's try the second way, and this is the one that's included in the game. Now personally I don't prefer this way. I like the brick by brick approach, but some people like this one better, because it also shows you which bricks you actually need, and of course that makes it, that is a plus, I will give it that. But also every step I think is a little bit too complicated. There's too many bricks in each step, to be honest here, and it's also a little bit hard to see where they actually go. So that's why I prefer the brick by brick approach that I showed in the beginning of the video. But let me know in the comments if you prefer this approach, like the inbuilt game approach, or simply building brick by brick, and you can just follow along as you watch the video at home. But as you can see, it's a fairly simple build, and it's really all about getting the colors down and the proportions down. If you can do that, then getting it to look like whatever it is that you're trying to build is actually fairly easy. The colors, the proportions, that is the main thing here. If you have to skip on details, or like for example the front window here is entirely different to what's actually on the boat, it doesn't matter, because you'll recognize it anyway if you get the other stuff correct. Now one little addition I had to make here is, because the boat is actually not quite as long as I wanted it to be, so to have everything look right, I had to make only 3 barrels on the front deck, not the actual 4 that's in the movie. And so I just pretend that this is a model of the boat after Quint fires the first barrel at the shark. So yeah, that makes it work then. Because had I had to put 4 barrels here, it would look too cramped. It would just throw the whole thing off. So there's little details like that you'll have to you know, keep in mind as well. Now, being said that I prefer the first way, this is also actually quite a good way. I'm very happy it's in the game. It's just still a mystery to me why the developers haven't included from the beginning some sort of like clever way of sharing your builds with other players very easily. Like you already have to share the build with the developer to have it approved to use it in game. So why not make those shares available to everyone? And then of course the instructions as well. That would make it a lot easier to you know, copy other people's builds, or you know, download someone's builds, like change them up a little bit, like change the colors or whatever you want to do, or like totally change them, whatever. Like you're free to do whatever you want in this game here. So I think that's a little bit of a missed opportunity here in a LEGO 2K Drive, but I think that in a coming update they're actually going to add the ability into the game to have like a big sharing portal where everybody shares the builds that of course have been approved by the developer. So we don't get people sharing, you know, anatomical parts and stuff like that. Alright, that's 2 different ways of building the ORCA, so let's take it out for a test drive here. And because I used the very simple template, this is really agile, really fast and really light actually. I know it says medium on the build screen there, but for some reason it just feels a lot more like snappy and nippy than pretty much any other of the templates. So I suggest you go with that one, no matter what you build, really. So you can see here, it's really fast and it's super agile. It's actually a lot of fun to play, and you know, it's instantly recognizable if you've seen the movie. That is, everybody knows that hey, this is the ORCA from Jaws. So there's a bit of, you know, recognition when you get out there. And also, an addition here, a bonus, is that the mast is so tall that you're gonna, you know, you're gonna hit stuff that the lower vehicles won't hit. So for example, the boom gates there, I just take them down. I don't even have to aim for them. So I mean, that's an extra bonus there. Not intended, but there it is. So that was the ORCA for you guys, and quite a simple build, not too bad, and won't take you long, probably half an hour. So hope you enjoyed the video guys, and I'll see you out there.